So the severity of soilborne diseases and the impact they have on the crop, we have done some modelling work on this and surveying crops, and typically that would be in the range of 20 to 30% of marketable crop yield being lost due to soilborne disease. In extreme cases that can be up to 100% if you have a complete canopy collapse in hot, clear, blue sky weather that causes severe sunburn, you can lose it all. But yeah, typically around that 20 to 30% mark. The symptoms of soilborne disease that we're seeing in the trial today are firstly the yellowing of the leaf, vine decline, and this is premature, it happens before harvest, whereas it shouldn't happen until after harvest. Also, because of the collapse of the vine, you'll see sunburn on the squash there, so white marks where they're exposed to sun, and so they get a white discoloration, which leads to decay.
The main market that we export to is Japan and Korea, so the value is around $50 million of export earnings per year. A majority is sourced from Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. Soilborne diseases equate to approximately $20 million worth of export earnings lost in our industry per year.
So our harvest process here today in the trial, we try to mimic a normal field harvest in a way. We're going through and hand clipping the vine from the fruit here, and we are sorting them into export grade and smalls, anything under 900 grams, and also those that would be reject from export quality, and they would have blemishes on them, sunburn, or might be immature as well. During the shipping and repacking process overseas, that's often when the soilborne disease can manifest itself in the squash. Usually when the squash is exported, the fruit looks good and fine in the pack houses here in New Zealand, but quite often when it turns up in Japan and Korea, particularly in their repack process, which might be 3 or 4 weeks or more, as they grade it, they will see a lot of blemishes on the skin, rots and decays that have become obvious symptoms and will mean that it's no longer marketable in that country. And there's been quite a lot of testing over there to work out what has caused those decays, which diseases they are, and how they relate back to the growing conditions here in New Zealand. So this trial will mimic the export process in that we are harvesting here today and grading as per normal. We will keep the plots separated and store them at ambient for a day or two, but then they're going into a refrigerated container which will be set at the same settings as when the squash is exported. They'll stay in those containers for probably about 6 weeks, and during that time we will score the fruit as any decay starts to become evident there and see if we've got any separation between the various treatments. From the trials we have planted in Hawke's Bay and Gisborne, we're hoping to learn more about the various treatments which are becoming available to help prevent soilborne disease. So we have mostly biological treatments in these trials, and I've got replicated plots here, so we can see in both in Gisborne and Hawke's Bay's growing conditions, which are slightly different, whether some of these treatments can help prevent soilborne disease and the incidence of rot and decay on the fruit once we've gone through that storage phase. So if we can find something here that we can use on a commercial basis, then we hope to introduce that to growers to use commercially.
The main reason that we're doing this project is to reduce our losses for our growers. So we're very motivated to understand how we can reduce those losses. It's not necessarily about market confidence, it's just bringing more money back to our grower for all the efforts they do. We're in here for the long haul. This is a 5-year project for us. We're really encouraged about using these tools that this project will provide to reduce our losses going forward.